All right, welcome back. Got a different program for you, but I think you're going to like it today. We're going to do some reader questions, and these are readers of my local column in the paper. All right, so the question from the reader is, I asked for a second opinion on my investments from a local certified financial planner, also called a CFP, about the recommendation that I use my IRA to get a fixed annuity. My CPA says that I'm wasting a tax shelter. The CFP practitioner says the point of the annuity is less risk to my principal and reliable future income, not tax deferral. And the reader wants to know who's right. So, is it a waste of a tax shelter to get an annuity inside your IRA? Or is it okay if you're trying to do something else? So, here's my response. They're both right, depending on the circumstances. So, there are going to be situations where I'm going to agree with the CPA, and there's going to be situations where I agree with the CFP. So, let me walk you through it. IRAs, of course, give you tax deferral. You put your money in, you don't pay tax on the money going in if it's a regular IRA or 401k or something like that. If you're contributing your own money into an IRA that you set up yourself and you take the tax deduction on your tax return, then in effect that money's gone in pre-tax. What that means is that while you have your IRA, and it's the same with 401ks and things like that, that you don't pay any taxes on the earnings while it's accumulating. Now, when you get out to retirement and you start drawing on the money, then you have to pay tax. And when you take it out, because it was ordinary income that you didn't pay tax on the front end, it's ordinary income tax you pay on whatever you take out of the IRA, including any earnings. Now, if it's a Roth IRA, that's a little different. You don't pay, you don't get the tax deduction on the front end, but you don't have to pay the tax on what you get back, whether it's earnings or your principal. So depending on the type of IRA, there can be different tax treatment. What we're talking about here is an annuity being an investment vehicle inside of an IRA. Well, let's talk about the taxation of annuities. If you put regular money into an annuity, and this has been done for decades. Insurance companies didn't create this opportunity. It was done through the tax code. Insurance companies took advantage of this special tax treatment of annuities, and it works like this. You put your money in, it's regular money, I've already paid tax on that money. So you put your money in, and then any gains or interest that are earned aren't taxed while it's inside the annuity. And then when you take money out, you pay tax on the earnings as you draw it. Now, depending on how you draw it, there's different ways that are a little beyond the scope of my talk today. But when you take money out of the annuity, you're going to pay tax on the earnings. And then when you get to your money, you don't pay tax on it again. When you take it out, it's ordinary income. Now, combine those two. An IRA already has tax deferral. If you use IRA dollars to buy an annuity, you are buying something that's tax deferred with something that's already tax deferred. So the concern that a CPA, and I've heard this for years, that this is part of the reason why I wanted to talk about it. I've been a CPA myself since 1992, so I understand where CPAs are coming from on this point. The point is, if you already got tax deferral, why pay extra for something that gives you tax deferral when you've already got tax deferral? That's logical. And the point there is that if you have to pay extra. So if you are, for example, and this is where the CPA is going to be right in my example from the reader, if you are getting a variable annuity and you're buying it inside your IRA for long-term growth, accumulation, you're going to save it for retirement, and you really are looking for growth. Well, you'll probably pay more in fees with a variable annuity and have more limited investment choices with the variable annuity than you would if you were doing a portfolio of no-load funds and exchange-traded funds. Even if you hire an advisor for a fee to manage it for you, the variable annuity will probably cost more. And I've done those comparisons myself. So in that example, if there's no incremental benefit or feature you're getting with the annuity, then the CPA is right. You don't need to get the annuity, have any extra fees. And I've had people come in, have a variable annuity, they're paying 3 or 4% a year and don't know it. So my point is that if there is an extra cost, then yes, maybe you are wasting a tax shelter. Now, there are other types of annuities besides variable annuities. There are fixed annuities, fixed index annuities, or fixed annuities and index annuities. And these have other features that may make them attractive, and they also may have low cost. When you look at that, then the CFP may be right. So I'll give you an example. Let's say that you are concerned about how the market's going to perform, and you have both IRA as well as non-IRA regular money. And let's say that you are thinking ahead for retirement, and you are thinking, well, you know what, maybe I should protect some of my money. Well, if you took the IRA money and put it into a fixed annuity or index annuity, both of them protect your principal. It's not invested in the market. So if the market takes a 40 or 50% drop, that IRA money, your retirement money, is not going to take a hit. Well, that's a significant feature and benefit that has nothing to do with the tax shelter. You're not getting or choosing that fixed annuity or index annuity, again, both of which that protect your principal. You're not getting it for the tax shelter. You're getting it for another reason. So if you are taking IRA money, planning ahead for your retirement, you're thinking about retirement, you are in the retirement zone where you need to make some smart choices, maybe you're concerned, appropriately so, during volatile times that the market's going to take a hit and it's going to mess up your plans for retirement, then you're not wasting a tax shelter. And I agree with the CFP in the reader's question that you're not wasting a tax shelter by getting the annuity with the IRA dollars, because you're doing it for reasons that have nothing to do with tax deferral. Now, to be fair and balanced about the reader's question, one of the other things that the reader put in the question when he asked it was that the CFP had also recommended doing some no-load funds, exchange-traded funds, had proposed to manage that for him for a fee for his other money. So this particular person had both qualified IRA-type money and non-qualified regular money. So the CFP had recommended take your IRA, do the fixed annuity with it. It'll give you protection of your principal and give you a guarantee of income in the future when you're ready to start drawing on it for retirement. And then the other money, the non-qualified money, and it was about 50-50, that other money was going to be invested more aggressively. It was going to stay in the market. So when you look at it overall, where's the harm? Where's the wasting of a tax shelter in having some of the money be in an IRA and in a fixed annuity and the other part be in something more aggressive? I think given the volatility of the markets, especially if you're closer or even already in retirement, absolutely nothing wrong, nothing wasted by diversifying and taking an approach like this. Not a bad strategy at all. Look at this, consider this kind of approach perhaps for your situation, and you'll plan stronger.